Imagine stepping onto an alien world twice the size of Earth, where the skies could crush you, the oceans might never end, and every breath could be your last. In 2011, NASA discovered a planet orbiting a star 600 light-years away, right in the so-called habitable zone. They named it Kepler-22b. And ever since, scientists and dreamers have wondered, could this be Earth's twin? Or would it be humanity's worst nightmare? In this video, we're diving deep into what would really happen if you landed on Kepler-22b. Its gravity, atmosphere, climate, and the terrifying unknowns that could make or break our survival. Stay with me, because the reality is stranger than fiction. Let's start with the journey. Kepler-22b lies about 600 light-years away in the constellation of Cygnus. With today's fastest spacecraft, it would take over 20 million years to get there. So, let's imagine we've bent the rules of physics, using a wormhole, warp drive, or some futuristic propulsion system, and we arrive in orbit above this mysterious planet. Looking down, the view is breathtaking. Kepler-22b is a super-Earth, about 2.4 times Earth's radius. That makes it much bigger and heavier than our home world. It circles a star slightly smaller and cooler than the Sun, completing an orbit in 290 days a year, just a bit shorter than ours. From space, the planet might appear as a shimmering blue-green marble, hinting at vast oceans and swirling clouds. But don't be fooled. The closer you get, the stranger it becomes. Touching down, your body feels it instantly. Because of its size, scientists estimate Kepler-22b's gravity could be 1.5 to 2.5 times stronger than Earth's. That means if you weigh 70 kilos here, you'd suddenly feel like you're carrying 140. Every movement takes effort. Lifting your arms, walking, even standing upright strains your muscles and bones. Your heart is pounding harder. Your lungs struggle against the heavier pull. This alone would make long-term survival extremely difficult for humans without genetic or technological enhancements. But gravity isn't the only problem. You look around and suddenly realize the ground beneath your feet might not even be solid. Kepler-22b could be a water world, a planet with endless global oceans covering everything. No mountains, no continents, just an infinite horizon of stormy seas. Beneath the upper ocean layers, pressures would become unimaginable. Hundreds of kilometers down, water could compress into exotic ices that no human has ever touched. And if it's not a water world, then maybe it has a rocky surface hidden beneath crushing oceans. Or worse, no surface at all. Just dense atmosphere blending into a superheated interior. That means you might be standing on a floating research pod, or a city above the waves, never truly touching land. Let's say you open your helmet. Big mistake. We don't actually know what Kepler-22b's atmosphere is made of, but given its size, it could easily trap a thick blanket of gases. Best case scenario, it's rich in nitrogen and oxygen, just like Earth. Worst case, it's full of carbon dioxide, methane, or hydrogen, creating toxic, suffocating conditions. And then there's the pressure. If the atmosphere is dense, stepping outside could feel like diving thousands of meters underwater. Your lungs would collapse, your blood could boil or freeze, depending on the mix of gases and temperature. Remember, Kepler-22b sits in the habitable zone, where liquid water could exist. But habitable doesn't mean comfortable. With a thicker atmosphere, the greenhouse effect might push surface temperatures into a deadly hothouse. Or, without enough greenhouse gases, the planet could be a frozen wasteland. If it's an ocean world, storms could rage for months, with waves towering higher than skyscrapers. Lightning would flash endlessly across black skies. In short, habitable doesn't mean home. Here's the real challenge. Even if Kepler-22b has water, even if it has an atmosphere, and even if temperatures are in the right range, none of that guarantees we could survive there. Think about it. We evolved for Earth's exact gravity, pressure, oxygen levels, and climate. On Kepler-22b, each of these is an unknown, and if even one of them is off, it could make the planet utterly hostile. You land on floating stations anchored to endless oceans. The sky is heavy with clouds, and storms are daily. Beneath, strange aquatic life might exist, creatures adapted to crushing pressures and eternal darkness. Humanity could harvest energy from tides and winds, but colonization would be a constant fight against nature. The super greenhouse point 2. Here, the planet is shrouded in thick carbon dioxide, like Venus, but on steroids. Surface temperature soar to hundreds of degrees. Here, the planet is shrouded in thick carbon dioxide, like Venus, but on steroids. Surface temperatures soar to hundreds of degrees. Sulfuric acid rains down, oceans have long since boiled away, and stepping outside is instant death. This version of Kepler-22b is a warning sign of what Earth could become if climate change spirals out of control. In the dream scenario, Kepler-22b is a paradise. Oxygen-rich air, warm oceans, lush continents with alien forests, and strange ecosystems. Gravity is tough, but manageable with technology. Here, humanity could build cities, explore alien biology, and perhaps even find life forms that challenge everything we know about evolution. And here's the big twist. The truth is, we don't actually know which version of Kepler-22b is real. With today's telescopes, we can measure the size and orbit of distant exoplanets, but not the fine details of their atmospheres or surfaces. Kepler-22b could be an ocean paradise or a hellscape. And that mystery is what makes it so fascinating. Landing on Kepler-22b would be like rolling the cosmic dice. You could step into a second Earth, or into your doom. So, what would happen if you landed on Kepler-22b? You'd face crushing gravity that strains your body, an unknown atmosphere that could suffocate or sustain you, a world that might be covered in endless oceans or boiling hot with no escape, and the ever-present risk that this so-called habitable zone planet is anything but habitable for us. Kepler-22b is a reminder of both our fragility and our curiosity. It shows us how rare Earth might truly be, and why searching for new worlds also teaches us to care for the one we already have. Imagine stepping onto an alien world